There is $600,000 on the line for the World Series of Warzone, and it was, and it is, a complete disaster. Hackers, cheaters, boosters, big streamers having zero integrity, Twitter trending with VPNing, and the list goes on and on. Hey there gamers and gamers, welcome to Flit News. My name is xVIS FLYZz, and today we're diving into the competitive Call of Duty Warzone tournament, hosted by Activision and Gamebattles. For the first time ever, Call of Duty opened up an open system within Warzone to allow players from any level to register and qualify to the big event. The so-called open qualifier format, and it was a really interesting idea and cool concept with a lot of potential. Nevertheless, the idea got ruined very quickly, mainly because of the matchmaking, which is very prone to exploitation. Activision and Raven Software never really acknowledged that SBMM existed. This entire $600,000 tournament was completely jeopardized almost instantly, because it isn't fair anymore. The idea actually was refreshing and allowed for real high quality players to attempt to compete for these qualifiers. But this opportunity was completely thrown away by a few bad teams manipulating problems with matchmaking. So what happened, and why did this super expensive tournament result in a huge L from the beginning? If we take a closer look at the problems, it comes down to VPNing, geofencing, cheating, hacking, boosting, stream sniping, and the format of the tournament. The first one is definitely the most problematic one. VPNing and geofencing are not even acknowledged by the team Activision and Raven Software, which leads to the fact that they can't exactly ban teams or accuse teams of using VPNs and stop them from playing the tournament. This means that there are a vast majority of people who are playing in extremely low KD lobbies by using a method known as geofencing. The mainstream call it VPNing, but VPNing is just an interchangeable term for geofencing. Using a VPN in Warzone is not going to change your matchmaking, but the process of geofencing does. To quickly understand the difference, VPN puts you somewhere else, geofencing keeps you in the same place, but making it harder for the game to locate you so that it gives up its skill-based matchmaking protocol, allowing a player to get into a game even if they're not necessarily meant to be in that lobby. This can happen naturally and or normally when a player count is super low. So when the skill-based matchmaking protocol fails, high-skilled players manage to get into super easy lobbies, whereas other teams were grinding through extremely challenging lobbies like ourselves, which drove us players nuts. For being a new team, we arrived 140 in Europe. Still not bad. There were many talented Warzone players that were thrown into very challenging lobbies and performed really well, all things considered. But because the scoring system for this open qualifier is the number of individual kills multiplied by your finishing placement, it effectively meant that amongst other competitive players who were playing legitimately without any geofencing or VPNing, they were in a massive disadvantage because they were in harder lobbies. To explain it easy for you, each player had to score his max amount of kills for 10 games, in order to score the highest points as an individual, driving the teams to feed their teammates kills, in order to achieve the highest points. And to open up here on the format, everyone wondered who thought of this. Moving on to the problem of friendly stream sniping or better boosting. There has been huge players who are part of orgs and make a living out of this, just blatantly doing this. Personally, I had to fight with one of them and I called him a rat because of the lack in integrity as a professional player. We are not going to name any individuals involved because honestly that leads to toxicity and we're not here to attack anybody who did. I do think it's really pathetic and I think the people involved should never participate in any kind of competitive tournament again. So what these pathetic players were doing was matchmaking at the same time as their friends, getting their friends to parachute in on and give them free kills, and then buying themselves back ineffectively by allowing somebody to sit on a buy station, looting, and then continue reviving them. One team managed to get nearly 70 kills and two of his friends had died 30 times each, and they finished first as well, meaning that they had definitely a high enough score to potentially qualify for a 600,000 tournament. These guys who were effectively boosting managed to qualify, although all the proof provided, no ban was issued. Another big L for Activision and Gamebattles. Of course, the final issue of an open bracket is cheating. If people aren't being forced to livestream, there is no oversight. Players can manipulate the system by using wall hacks and potentially could use even an aimbot, and theoretically they would get away with it. Unless there is an oversight or a livestream with moderation, nobody can ban them from participating in this tournament. It is utterly disturbing that small organizations around the world host tournaments with way better competitive experience, putting rules where you would have to stream your perspective, some even require you to show the task managers before you and after the game, so even require a monitor camera whilst you stream, but in this tournament that wasn't the case. And cheaters definitely, probably and most likely will participate and even qualify for this tournament. So this entire tournament was just a massive L. And it's a real shame as well, because the idea of allowing somebody who's potentially unknown or just is a great player to get into a high level of competitive player bracket and so to play against some of the world's best and maybe even win some money, that is a really cool idea. The fact that their matchmaking is so prone to manipulation and see that there is no transparency around any of it, compromising competitive integrity, especially when there's money on the line, is just sad. Biggest question asked by many players has been, why was there never an implementation of a ranked system? A ranked system could have been a good way in learning how to improve such an amazing event. The execution of the World Series of Warzone simply wasn't good enough, and pretty embarrassing. Another reason where we want to pay tribute to all the organizations who put passion and energy into developing the esports scene into a healthy competitive experience, such as King Esports, Collateral, Esports, House of Gamers, and many more. Let us know if you have participated at the World Series of Warzone, or any other Warzone tournaments. What are your thoughts? And as always, if you enjoyed this, subscribe. Peace out.